Welcome back to the Garden Hutch. Today we'll discuss week 43. Let's get going. Week 43 was a nice change of pace. We finally got a bunch of rain. It started on like Friday afternoon and it rained all the way through the weekend. Altogether, we got really close to 5 inches of rain, which we absolutely needed here on the homestead. The rain came in just exactly the way we needed it as well. It didn't come down real hard to start with. It was a slow drizzle and then it kind of gradually sped up as the days went along. So the ground was able to absorb quite a bit. And again, it's something that we drastically needed. However, headed into week 44, it's already going to freeze. It has been a crazy year, man. The weather just bouncing all over the place. I think Tuesday of week 43, it was almost 90 degrees. And now on Tuesday of the next week, we're going to have our first freeze of the year. So what I wanted to do today was just kind of walk through the gardens and give you an idea of what our game plan is going forward, what's going to make it, what's not going to make it, and any steps we're going to take to protect things that we want to stick around for just a little while longer. Well, you can tell it is windy. It's blowing all of that cold air in here. So let's just go through this really quick. Here in the Vegeta bed, the greens are going to make it. The basil, it will be done as well. These pimento peppers and the jalapenos. The thing about these pimento peppers though, we can pick those and sit them inside and they will ripen, and then we'll make one last batch of pimento cheese. The cherry tomatoes will be done. We picked the last batch of those yesterday. There may be a couple more. It looks like I missed a couple up there. I'm gonna get every one of these tomatoes that I can though. I might even try to pick some of these big ones like this. You can see those. Try to pick those guys and see if they'll ripen inside. I'm not sure. I've never tried that with cherry tomatoes, but again, it's going to be so long till I have fresh tomatoes. I want to try to get as much as possible. Now, it's only going to get to about 28, 29 degrees or so over the next 3 days. So we got 3 days of freeze. The low is going to be about 29 or 28. So if that's the case, most of these greens should be fine. They might get a little burnt on the ends, but they'll still be decent for cooking. And the turnips, they should be just fine. We're hoping that they're going to be able to go ahead and still develop into turnip root. The thing about it is this cold is going to come through, and then directly after that, it's going to be back up into the mid 70s with the lows in the upper 40s. I'm going to stop on the way up to the top garden just to talk real quick about this lettuce. What I will end up doing is going through and trimming it back really nicely. I'll leave just the top parts. See that little crown up there where you have just a few leaves? I'll leave that up there, and I'll leave the stalk and clear it all off and eat all that lettuce. And then I have some 6 mil plastic that I'll use to cover this bed, and I'm hoping it prevents it from getting burned up too much. But if it does, I'll just have to replant this bed and just hope that we have enough nice weather to get more lettuce out of it. So before we go any further here, I just want to say real quick, you're going to notice there's a lot of peppers and things left on here. The peppers I'm going to pick this afternoon. In fact, as soon as I get done with this video, I'll probably go through and pick everything. The pimentos, I'll sit out and let those ripen until they're red, and I'll just use those to make some pimento cheese. The rest of the peppers, I have several family members who have requested to have the last ones of the year. We got some bell peppers that are pretty good size. They're not quite as big as we would normally pick them, but because of the way peppers work, you can pick them smaller and they're still sweet. So unlike a tomato, for example, that you have to let ripen to get the full flavor out of it, your bell peppers, banana peppers, that sort of thing, they're gonna have a nice taste to them even if you pick them early. So do not let them sit out and get frozen, because then they'll just turn to mush and they won't be worth anything. All right, so we'll run through this just real fast. The carrots shouldn't be in any danger. Carrots can usually stand up to about 15 degrees or so. Last year, they didn't get burned up or the tops get taken out until it got down to like 8 degrees. So my experience with carrots is that they are pretty resilient. Now, the turnips, these should do the same as the other ones. They might get burned a little bit because they're a little smaller, but they should overall be fine. The same thing with our radishes here. Radishes do not mind a freeze. And in fact, a lot of times if you get a freeze early like this, your radishes will taste better later on in the year. So we'll see how that goes. I've heard some people that don't care for them because they get a little bit more spicy. My experience has been a little different than that. Now this is something I am a little concerned about. These small lettuce plants, it might kill them all the way back. And if so, it's no big deal. We have plenty of room, so we'll go ahead and just take them out and start over. Of course, the okra, our volunteer okra plants, this will be the last day for those to be in the garden. Now the marigolds, it'll be interesting to see. I've been told marigolds can sometimes withstand a bit of a frost. I don't know, last year whenever we got our first frost, it killed them all off, so we're gonna wait and see what happens. But again, our cherry tomatoes, we've picked quite a few off of them. I might pull off the bigger green cherry tomatoes this afternoon. Just let those sit out and see if they'll ripen. And if so, I'll let you folks know about it. But the peppers for sure will be done. These are greens though. These will be just fine, just like the other ones. But you can see some of these bell peppers in here are pretty decent size. We picked some earlier this weekend to give away, and we just wanted to leave these on the vine until they got a bit bigger on the vine, on the plant, I'm sorry. So we're gonna see what happens. It's kind of funny, you put all this work in, and I have all these plants all year, put in so much effort, and then one day, you know, just having that 28-degree weather one night is gonna drastically change the way these gardens look. But see, we've got some cayennes that we've left in here to change. And let's go over there and see if my pimento pepper, oh, it hasn't changed just yet, but you can see him. Yeah, he'll ripen up nice inside. So that way I'll have maybe a double batch of pimento cheese to make. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So really the only thing we have left is the pallet garden. Now over there, the same thing is gonna happen to the jalapeno peppers as happened to all the other peppers. When the freeze hits, they're gonna be done. It's just how the peppers work. Tomatoes are the same way. Our beets though, they should make it through the 28 degrees. Usually beets here on the homestead, my experience is, if it gets down to like the 22, 23, sometimes your beets will burn up. But last year, we had several frosts on our beets and it never bothered them at all, and we were able to pick them. They turned out nice and sweet. Crossing my fingers, the same thing happens. I also have quite a bit of work to get done. I need to get all the hoses put away, make sure that all of my spigots are winterized, that sort of thing. It's just odd how fast it snuck up on us. You know, for a while we thought we were gonna make it until, you know, the first of the year before a freeze. And then something like this happens, and you know, there's not much you can do with it as a gardener, right? You just gotta kind of roll with the punches. Well, as always, I appreciate all you folks hanging out with me today. Till next time, I hope everybody takes care of themselves. Peace.